What's up, y'all? Steven here with Hunt Hook Excursions, and in this video, it's going to be a little different than what I originally anticipated. Me and a buddy went to Lee's yesterday and tried out the new live scope. They were not biting. There was four of us down there. Some had been down there for several hours. They had said that the one with live scope before them, there were three of them that were together, and they were using live scope and only caught 12 in about 6 hours. So the crappie just were not biting at Lee's yesterday. We noticed that it was an outward flow current, so that typically there has something to do with the bite, according to one of the guys there. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go through and I'm going to show some footage of my live scope. The forward facing did not save. The video part of it didn't save. So I'm going to talk about the down facing sonar part that did save and kind of go through it, dissect it, talk a little bit about my settings, and then see if anyone of y'all that watch my channel have any ideas of some of the stuff that I have questions about. So this is the very first time I've ever even laid eyes on LiveScope in person. So bear with me. There might be stuff you see that I had no clue. I have a little bit better understanding about kind of the beam and beam angle and stuff now. But just let me know in the comments if you see anything that should have been done different, and stay tuned. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever I post new content. Thanks. Okay, y'all. So this is the downside of the live sonar. And like I said in the intro, didn't catch any fish, so I don't have any video to go over with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do um, voiceover. So as we're going through this, you might notice some things that I don't notice. I might notice some things I didn't notice yesterday. This is the first time I've ever laid my eyes on live sonar in person and actually been fishing at the same time. So it's definitely a game changer. It's really cool to see, really cool to um, watch in person. So let's get started and see kind of what we can come up with here. So there's a brush pile dead center of the screen, and I notice right here that the beam is a little lower. Um, or I'm sorry, I notice right here that the beam is missing kind of some to the left side of the screen there. What that is I probably didn't have the transducer down low enough in the water, and it's catching some of the flow to the dock. So I had this zip tied to a pole, and while I'm on that, my pole yesterday, the setup that I made in the last video, it actually worked pretty good. Um, it's definitely not a permanent thing though. So on the bottom left of the screen here, you can see that is a bunch of fish. The hard bottom's at 25 foot. So it's quite a few fish down there. And the thing that I noticed the most with this is it's really hard to tell where the beam exactly is. That's one thing I'm going to have to play with. I did learn on the way home last night that it's an 18-degree angle. So the further down you get, the more picture you got. There's actually a fish dropping down. I'm sorry, that's my bait. You can actually see my bait dropping up and down there. So at this point, I'm thinking that this is a fish right here, and I'm going for that fish right there. So I'm thinking that's a fish. It might not be. I changed my settings a little bit right here. I went a little hotter with the contrast. Now I was using auto contrast on this. I was watching some videos last night on the way home, and it said to take it out of auto and actually do a percentage. So next time I take it out, I'll definitely try that out. Um, for the down sonar, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool to see. We'll notice some fish swimming up here in a minute, and I'll talk about that whenever they do that. It's really cool to see that, but it is very limited, especially because of that brush pile right there in the middle. Anything under that, I can't really see very well. So on the right side of the bottom, you're getting all that dark haziness. That's because that brush pile is taking up most of that transducer beam. Now, that's just something that I'm gonna have to work through. I know where some of the brush piles are out there at Lee's, so maybe not set up directly over the top of them would be a good idea. Um, it's it's cool for the money. Um, for what you're getting, it's really cool. I wish I would have caught some fish yesterday. But like the guy said at the dock, it's going to take some time and some practice. So it's worth the money. I am no professional on this, so there's definitely some settings that I need to change. Some of the settings I was using on this that I found the most beneficial was a contrast of auto 8. That would be 80 to 90%, 80 to 85%, somewhere around there on the brightness contrast. Sorry. Um, and I had my noise rejection off or on low. Most of the time it was off. Whenever I switched over to forward facing, I turned it to low because there was so much artifact in the there's a fish swimming in right there. But there was so much artifact in the forward facing and in the water, so trash is really what you would call it. Um, and so I had to turn noise reject on low. I had my surface clarity on low most of the time as well, and it seemed to work pretty well. Again, for what I've seen, I don't really know again everything, but for the money, this is really good. It definitely, I had confidence in what I was seeing. I just didn't have confidence in exactly where I was seeing it at. You can see my jig dancing there on the right or bottom side of the screen. I was actually trying to get that fish to come back, I think. And then also, I was just holding it over that pile of fish right there on the bottom right. Right here's those fish coming up, or at least I think they're fish. I don't know what else they would be. From what I can tell, one, two, at least three fish. They come up um, after my jig kind of moved off screen there. It's cool to see. So, yeah, down sonar, really good, really cool. Let me switch us over to another picture here. This one is only going to be a couple seconds, but it's going to show quite a bit as well. So let's switch over to that. Okay, so what you're seeing there is you're seeing the same brush pile. I've kind of moved it just a little bit, more so turned it, and you're seeing the same picture. I've just adjusted the contrast, and it looks good. It's easier to see the bottom. You can kind of more see the hill there where the bottom starts going up. So that's pretty cool. And then the next one that you're seeing is a ball of fish up under the transducer. This was a completely different hole. And it is just stacked full of fish. Now, what's bait fish and what's actual bigger predator fish? Hard to tell, but it was really cool to watch them come up and eat the balls of fish. You could actually see it on the sonar of the separation whenever the other ball of fish came in on top of the ball you see currently, and watching them come up and eat. It was really cool to watch that. So let's get into the forward facing sonar part of it now. Mine didn't record for some reason, so I wasn't able to get that, which really stinks. I wish that ball of fish that the screen record would have worked there too, but I might have run out of memory on my card. So the forward facing is really good. I noticed in this picture that they have the depth about 10 foot deeper than what the bottom is, so they're able to see the bottom a lot quicker. That's one thing I didn't do. I had mine 5 foot and I couldn't see the bottom until about 35, 40, 45 feet out. Again, you're only getting one or two forward facing beams of the six that the active target 2 has. So of course you're going to miss some of the picture, but in a single setting where you're singling out a single brush pile, maybe two brush piles, this is going to work really well. I'm really excited to get it out on the boat and try it because it is, I think, going to work really well dissecting one or two brush piles. I learned that the angle is 18 degrees. I thought it was a single, like 1.5 inch beam until I watched a video last night. There's a video on YouTube that they show really good beam angles of live sonar. And so if you are new to live sonar or you think that you know it and you're just not quite sure if you really know everything about it, go check that video out. It is Forward Facing Sonar Understanding Cone Width by Russell Marine Products. Really good video, really helped me understand that I'm not just seeing a 1 or 2 inch beam. It's actually an 18-degree angle, and the further out you go, the more water you're gonna see, but it also shows what you're actually seeing on a 2D screen versus what's actually in the water. Really good video. Go check it out. The one thing about the forward facing on the dock, I probably won't use it again, especially at Lee's because there's so many brush piles that after the first three or four brush piles, that image is getting really bad the further out you go. Your beam's getting absorbed by all the brush piles in the front. Now, this picture, probably why it works so well, is they're above the brush piles shooting down into it. I was almost level with the brush piles, and so again, that beam was just getting taken up by the first 2 to 3 brush piles. So if I do use it again, I'll actually angle it to where the beam is shooting one side of the catwalk or the walkway and see if maybe I can get some of the picture back. But there's a brush pile on every single corner of every slip at Lee's, so that's why they're so stacked with crappie and stuff. But I will definitely get y'all some forward facing video. If you like the screen record like I did, let me know. I'll continue to do that. I think it's really cool. It's really cool to even come back and watch and voice over and see things that maybe I didn't see at that time. I'll get better with this. The more I practice, the more that I use it. My overall review of this is it's good for the price point. It's going to take me a lot of practice, a lot of time to get used to it. I saw a video yesterday that they said, "Welcome to a year learning curve." It takes a year really to of using it constantly to actually know what you're seeing, have confidence in it, and learn forward facing sonar. So definitely be using it a lot. I like how light it is. I like the fact that I'm able to put everything but the pole in my tackle box and carry it down there. That battery that I used, I fished yesterday for 3.5 hours and I still had 11.8 volts left whenever I got off the water. So the battery's going to work really good. I'm really excited to keep using this. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever I post new content.